जी की। अब हम मंत्र जाप करेंगे।
Jai Guruji, Jai Sangat Ji. Today, I will be reading a series of satsangs, two of them. The first one is the satsang of Major General and Mrs. M.P.S. Sandhu from the book Light of Divinity. Guruji Maharaj is great. We were extremely fortunate when in June 2004, with the grace of Guruji Maharaj, we were admitted into his Sangat. Since then, life has taken a new turn for us. Having become blissful and reassuring, being with Guruji in the serene environment of his mandir, one is fully charged with positive energy. With his kindness, we have gained immensely on the spiritual path, have begun to lead a far cleaner and humble life full of happiness. In fact, we no longer know unhappiness. The odd discomfort that comes our way also brings happiness with the knowledge that our beloved Guruji has helped us get over some of our karma, an experience that without his kindness would have been far more painful. There is also a special bonding with Guruji's Sangat since we feel we are a part of one big family in which the ego has been replaced by total humility. We look forward to interacting with the Sangat because we derive utmost satisfaction speaking and listening about Guruji. This itself is a great learning experience, besides creating a greater Banhami within our big family. During such satsangs, we have learned that there is no need to speak with Guruji. A simple ardas or prayer within the heart is enough to grant us the Mahapurusha's blessings. We are also conscious that one should avoid asking Guruji for anything, because though he may give what is wished for, it may not provide us satisfaction. True satisfaction and happiness comes only when our beloved Guruji gives on his own. Despite this knowledge, we are tempted to ask Guruji for mercy whenever we are in trouble. We are only human. And like I said earlier, he is kind enough to shower his blessings on our request. My wife, son, and I began attending Guruji's satsang at the same time. My wife and son came to believe in him quickly. I had doubts. an attempt at conditional acceptance. On the third day of my attendance, I made a mental challenge to Guruji. I will accept you as my guru only if you can get me back my rupees 5 lakh which have been locked up with a businessman in Chandigarh for last 3 years. But after a few more days of satsangs, I felt I had done a great wrong in laying down a condition for Guruji over such a trivial thing like money. I then repeatedly prayed to him, apologizing and telling him what I did not want his help in getting back my money. A week later, while I was on a duty trip to Bangalore, the Chandigarh businessman called up to say he was ready to return the money and pay rupees 30,000 as damages. Guruji Maharaj is great. Guruji's fragrance. Initially, every time we entered Guruji's temple, my wife and son would get a strong whiff of Guruji's fragrance. I never smelt it. I suppose I was not a true believer. One evening, about a month or so from the time we started attending the satsangs, I was lying in bed while my wife had gone to sleep. I was looking at Guruji's photo on the wall and feeling guilty for continuing to have doubts when everything I had seen and heard was in Guruji's favor. I kept looking at Guruji's photo and fervently prayed to Guruji to forgive me. I promised to be his true bhakt. I had never prayed with such sincerity even before in my life. Suddenly from my pillow, I got a strong fragrance, which my wife confirmed was the same as she got at the mandir. My magnanimous Guruji had heard and accepted my prayer, and I had become a true believer. I would never look back again. My Guruji is great. A laddu for my absent son. My son Samar, who is in the merchant navy, had gone off to his ship. Guruji would often ask my wife Bapu about his well-being. One evening, we were at Guruji's mandir till late at night and Guruji had gone out. He returned after some time, around 1 a.m., and began distributing laddus to the Sangat. While he gave everybody one laddu, he gave my wife 2 pieces. She was thrilled and came to me saying that Guruji had given an extra piece for our son. Just as she was saying this, Colonel Joshi, one of Guruji's sevaks, came up to me and handed me his mobile, saying my son was online. We asked him how he was ringing up at this hour and that also not on the home telephone on which he always rang up. He replied, I don't know. I just got an urge to talk to you and I thought you must be at Guruji's mandir. Guruji is great. My wife's illness goes away. My wife has benefited from Guruji's healing power at least thrice. She had Meniere's disease, which is an imbalance caused due to the fluid in the inner ear, since 1989. She would get spells of dizziness and migraine-type headaches. No amount of medical treatment in India or even the US could cure her. In 1992, a homeopathic drug helped suppress the problem. As long as she took the medicine, the problem was reduced a bit. After about a month of joining Guruji Sangat, she prayed silently to Guruji. I am not going to take the homeopathic medicine ever again. My problem is in your hands for you to cure. Immediately on leaving the medicine, Babu's disease spells and migraines, headaches were back with a far greater intensity than ever before. But Babu did not waver and refused to take the medicine. This continued for 15 days, at the end of which the spells stopped as suddenly as they had started. She has never had them again. Our Guruji is great. In April 2005, Babu suddenly started getting black spots in her eye. A visit to the eye specialist revealed that her retina was inflamed and that if she did not start immediate treatment with steroids, she was likely to go blind. But having steroids would activate her otherwise latent tuberculosis, for which she had tested positive. Therefore, she would have to take a course of TB medicine also. This terrified her. Since we were hesitant to ask Guruji for help directly, one of the ladies in the Sangat, Guruji's Bhakt for a very long time, went ahead and told Guruji. Yet, when Babu was leaving the Sangat that day, Guruji did not say anything. The fright of the disease got the better of Babu, and she told Guruji that she did not want to take steroids. Guruji smiled and told her to bring the pure honey from Firozpur lying at home. The next day, Babu brought the honey. Guruji blessed it and told her to apply it to her eyes every day. A few days later, we visited our family eye specialist at Chandigarh. He prescribed medicines, both tablet and eye drops. He told us not to put honey in the eyes since it will negate the effect of the eye drops. We followed the doctor's directions, but we also put in the honey that Guruji asked us to put. After 2 weeks or so, the eyes were absolutely okay and she tested negative for TB as well. At this stage, the doctor told us that there was another girl who had been coming to him with the same problem, though with a lesser degree of the same, but had not yet been cured. He said that Babu's case was a miracle. God Almighty had cured her and not his medicine. He asked Babu if she believed in God. Was there any doubts? Guruji is great. For the last 9 years, Babu had viral warts on her face. Skin specialists, medicines, even the burning of the warts could not end the problem. Finally, Babu was treated by one of Guruji's Bhakts, Colonel D.R. Chauhan, in March 2006. Within a week, the warts disappeared, never to come back again. Guruji is great. Surviving an accident. In December 2006, at Chandigarh Road crossing, an ambassador going at 80 kilometers per hour hit our Zen from the side. The Zen was pushed 4 feet sideways. Doors, mudguards and windscreen, window panes, and even the dashboard were smashed. Yet, all 4 of us came out without a scratch or muscle pain. I did not have to pay anything for the repairs since the ambassador owner footed the bill. This was possible only with Guruji's grace. Guruji is great. We are grateful to Guruji for his blessings. Guruji often said the world will be going through very difficult times ahead. No one will care for each other, no matter how close he or she may be. Only the big family of Guruji's Sangat will matter. Needless to say, we are lucky to be blessed by him and to be a part of his Sangat. Om Namah Shivaya. Guruji Sada Sahay. The next series of satsangs are from Muneet Jhakar, Sales and Marketing Manager with a real estate firm. Alcoholism spirited away. As a child, whenever I used to go to Jalandhar with my family, we used to stay at my maternal grandparents' place. They would visit Guruji, and during one such visit, I met Guruji with my family. When we entered his mandir, we could smell perfume all over as if someone had sprayed the room with scent. We would sit down and watch as people poured in to get Guruji's blessings. Later, he would bless water glasses with his mala and we would drink it. The water would have a distinct aroma. Even as children, we could sit in one place without fidgeting and did not even realize how time flew by. My dad does not believe in anyone beyond God himself. He told mom and me to avoid going to Guruji, starting that he did not like it. We stopped going. For around 8 years, we did not approach Guruji, but my aunt and my cousin sisters were regular visitors. Guruji would tell them to ask us to meet him. Then Guruji shifted to Delhi. In 2003, I also shifted to Delhi to do my MBA. I took to drinking as I used to live alone and enjoyed having alcohol. I went through a liver function test on my parents' insistence. I had taken the test earlier and it had shown bad signs, but I had ignored the results. According to the test results, a normal person should have a total of 40 IU per liter, that is international units per liter. I had 347 units. It was clear that if I did not stop drinking, I would have fatal liver cirrhosis. My mother was staying with me as we were planning to shift our residence from Vasant Kunj to Dwarka, and she had come to set up the new place for me. My mother, a very religious person, went regularly to Guruji for his blessings and for my health. Then one day, Guruji told her that her child was suffering and asked me to come. I did so. My father was not aware of it. I used to reach Guruji's place directly from work in the evening, have tea and langar at his place, and then return home. A couple of people talked about how Guruji had helped them and taken away their suffering. There were people who had been cured, among a host of things, of cancer, heart problems, monetary problems, and now they were happy. Guruji asked mom to come for 10 days continuously and asked her to get a copper tumbler, which he blessed, and I drank water from it. I would sit at Guruji's at only one thing in mind, his blessings. During this time, I consulted a doctor referred to me by a friend being treated for the same problem and taking the same medicines. For more than 4 months, he had been taking these medicines and his results had still not normalized. As for me, one day, Guruji just told mom she need not worry about her child as he was cured. He also asked me to get the test done again. To my surprise, I found my result totaling 40 IU per liter, which was normal. I could not understand the miracle. I went to Guruji to thank him for his blessings. Guruji only asked me whether I had got my test done, and I said yes. He said, "ठीक है ना, जा ऐश कर. The tests are all right. be carefree. At that, Mom and I touched his feet, and my heart said, "Thanks." My grandmother survives her heart problem. The same night, my mother and my grandmother told me of another miracle that had happened 10 years ago. My grandmother had suffered 3 heart attacks, and the doctors refused to help further, saying she would not survive. My mother and her brother had gone to Guruji for help in the middle of the night. He told them to get betel leaves and then prayed in the room next to where my grandmother was lying. The betel leaves were put on my grandmother's chest. 10 minutes later, my grandmother started urinating, a positive sign, after which the doctors rushed her to a hospital in Ludhiana for a bypass. Without Guruji, my grandmother would not be alive today. Some things cannot be explained, but they do happen. You can only understand and acknowledge them. Since my cure, my faith in Guruji has doubled, and I wish his blessings are always with my family and me. Jai Guruji, Jai Sangat Ji. Guruji is great.